Hey, so my name is TANISH SAHU, and this is my submission for optimize this slow endpoint task. I found one main issue in the API authors with posts endpoint, and I'll walk through what was wrong and how I fixed it, and what exactly were the before versus after numbers. So let's dig into it. If you see here in the GitHub desktop, uh, these red lines are the initial code that already existed, and the green lines are the code that I rectified. So let's start with the second line. Basically, the original imports get authors and get posts by author ID were singular from the DB module. So that is a fix that I did. And now if I come down here in the 16th line, after fetching all the authors, the code loops over every single author one at a time. And inside that loop, it calls get posts by author ID with just that one author ID. So for every author, it's making a separate database call to get their posts. With 60 authors, that 60 calls inside the loop plus one call to get the authors. So all in all, 61 total calls made one after another, and that is basically the n plus one query problem. For each query in a list, like this, one query for a list and then n more queries, one per item in that list when it didn't really matter to be that many. And that is why if we see here in the readme, the before numbers were 1089 milliseconds. Since each of those 60 calls has a small delay and they'll add up they'll add up when done sequentially. So here's how I fixed it. If we look closely at the line 15 here, I actually pull out just the IDs of all authors into a single array dot map, and then instead of looping, I make a single call by using get posts by author IDs. This is plural, passing that whole array of IDs at once. This switches every post for every author in that one database round trip. Now, if we look closely at lines 18 till 20, I build the final result by mapping over the authors and for each one using dot filter function to pick out just the posts that belong to them from the full list I already fetched. That filtering happens in the memory of JavaScript, so it's basically free and no extra database call get involved. Now, if we want to see what actually was the fixed point here is the duration. I think I should just zoom it. If we if you see here, it mentions the duration, and if I refresh it, it changes to 33, it changes to 31. That's roughly a 30x improvement, and the number of database calls just drops from 61 to just 2. So yeah, that was my fix for n plus 1 query problem, and yeah, thanks for watching.